Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collected podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 630. We are live tonight. It is Wednesday, October 8th. I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Anna.
Hello.
And Christian.
What up?
And Unicron.
Howdy.
There we go.
That Unicron is a Blokie.
Wait. Blokees? What are Blokees? I don't know.
I don't know. I think they might be the topic of tonight's show. The fastest time we've ever had to get on topic on TFYLP history.
I thought we were going to talk about
That's
Mini
true.
Masterpiece.
No. Next week.
Blokees.
No
Blokees.
Thundercracker.
Isn't Blokees
Blockies kind of are.
I don't know about that, but Mini
I always thought
Masterpiece
that
would be
Anna was going to be in my camp tonight, but no. No, she is not, apparently.
No, I think I've decided to leave your camp. So, okay, let's softly go on to topic. Tonight we are going to talk about the thing that's been kind of taking over Transformers for about the last year has been the idea of Blokees. And Blokees are these little guys. This is the Galaxy class that tends to be the most iconic type of Blokie. The most recent wave is in my left hand. The older ones are a little bit different, but we'll get to that in a little bit. These things are small kits, they're relatively inexpensive, and they're a licensed Transformers product that has been around for about 2 years, but I think they've really been hot for about a year now. They first kind of snuck out as a kind of Asian release. You could order them from all the different Asian retailers like Shozi and whatnot. A few people got them, but then they really started to proliferate around the fandom. And suddenly everyone's buying Blokees. And these are simple kits. These aren't Gunpla. These take like 5 minutes to put together, 10 minutes maybe, and are very easy snap together kits. They make little non-transforming figures. And yeah, I think at least 2 of the people on the show right now really like them. One kind of likes them, and the other one is confused about the whole thing.
So I thought 3 of us really liked them. Why is it only 2?
Yep, I thought it was 3 as well.
Yeah, I know. This is why I had you guys on the show.
My heart's flaky. We
should get that checked out.
I mean, that does sound like something you should talk to a doctor about. If your heart is flaky, then that speak to a physician.
It does sound like something I should go to the doctor for. But what I really mean is that I keep changing my mind on Blokees. Like 8 million times. And if you all remember historically, I bought a case of the first wave of Blokees when they first came out, right? I bought the first wave. Other people hadn't bought them yet. It was one of those weird Anna things to buy the non-transforming model kit box of these things that sound like some sort of bootleg Legos. And I bought them, and I did not like them because I found the faces to be hideous. And so I sent a few to Christian at that time.
And I agreed
Christian
at that time.
Was kind of like, I don't like these either. And then like time passed. And that Phil is currently holding up is the whole reason I can't get into Blokees. It's Ratchet. Ratchet's face. Ratchet has perhaps the worst face of all of the Blokees. And,
It's really rough.
I'm holding up a Bumblebee here. His face is not as bad, but I still don't like it. That's my
I
whole
think one of the
for-
reasons I brought this Ratchet down was to show the improvement that has happened, and we can talk about that as we go through this conversation. But I mean, the amount of increase in quality and sculpting and all that's come from this line in the short period of time it's existed is really phenomenal.
That is absolutely true. So Blocky started out as they were decent. Like you pay like $50 for a case of 9 and they were decent quality. They looked okay. I think that Ratchet is one of the original molds. Bumblebee isn't, but he isn't much different than the original molds. They had, limited articulation. They all had the same kind of basic legs, same kind of basic arms, unique chests for the most part. Sometimes they had a back decoration or so, and everybody had their own unique heads. They all had these kind of oddball stylized faces that I don't really love. And yeah, they didn't really do it for me at first. There have been some really good blockies over the years that really stand out. And then there's been a lot of blockies in general.
Yeah, I mean, we're up to what?
Wave
5
8
different
Galaxy.
Wave 8 of Galaxy. And I would say to your point, I would say like probably the first 4, 5, maybe even 6 waves were pretty uniform in terms of how they were built. Like you had early on, and you've had this in multiple size classes where you had some alt mode blockies, where especially the Dinobots, where you would get dinosaur blockies, and so those were different.
Those are a pretty big departure.
Yeah, but even those, you could see like how they're using some of the same parts from the bot
They were
mode.
based on the same body. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see how they're going to share, the same, like the forearm would be the same, or the upper thigh would be the same kind of thing. And so you'd see the parts reusage. And there's still parts reusage in the newest wave, but it's each wave you're getting more and more unique parts.
Stuff started changing with Transformers 1, Wave 2, or overall Wave 7.
Yeah. I agree. That's the line in the sand.
With those.
But
I think in Wave 6, the joints were kind of different. They started improving those, and they started not having the hands on sprues and the joints on sprues, and they were pre-built. Before that, you had to put the joints together. Not a big deal, but then you suddenly didn't, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So
and Talib just mentioned that you did start to see an uptick in price, although like dollar amount wise, pretty subtle, because I think they went from like $6-7 to like $7-8, maybe $9, depending on where you're buying them from. They did do a thing to try and minimize some of that price increase, because they used to all come with stands, and now they don't. So I think that was a thing that was like, okay, how can we increase the quality of the figure, but not necessarily increase the price? Okay, take the stands out. That's going to save your plastic budget.
And some of the new stuff looks. I was just gonna say some of the new stuff, as contrary to everything else we were saying, look really unique, right? Like Metroplex, right?
That's the one I'm going to talk about. I want to talk about him specifically.
Very unique look compared to the other ones, right? Whereas the others tend to be pretty uniform. They tend to be breaking. Well, they're breaking the rules that they were never really rules, but they're breaking the mold. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
I just say that the Shining series, which is Galaxy plus LEDs, those all still come with stands.
Yeah. But they're also a higher price point, and Ratchet here is one of those Shinings. But I mean, I think I think we all have the same thought. It looks like in terms of Metroplex being such a significant change in terms of the body styling, the change in sculpting. But the kind of neat thing is like, okay, same feet, same hands, same forearms, same upper arms, and they've even the same inner torso. They've improved and changed the leg joints, so the legs can bend significantly better.
This new wave has new knee joints.
Yeah,
so you can do double knees, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. No double elbows yet, but I don't know if we're really needing that for these figures. Yeah, but like it's interesting how much of the core is still the same, and yet they are significantly, I would say, better looking, and they've become less stylized in terms of this being the first half dozen waves were almost like super deformed kind of. And Metroplex is not that. Now there's definitely wave mates of Metroplex that still had that super deformed kind of vibe and look to them, but yeah, I mean if we're gonna see more, I don't dislike any of the styling, whether it's the super deformed I'm not as big a fan of, but as they've gotten away from it, I definitely like them better. And if they continue to move away from it, I think that's a good thing as well. I don't have my early Optimus head is missing, and so this was with the newest wave. This is their new Optimus, and this is the Chase variation. So I'm doing a little bit of a humble brag here, but the change in terms of his articulation and his stylization compared to the first Optimus they did is significant. And then because this is a Chase, he's got that more shiny paint. And then he even comes with an accessory that the other ones don't. He comes with a little shard there, like in his gut, just like from Transformers the movie. And then I guess he's just half dead. So I don't know. But yeah, this is the first time pulled a Chase from a blind box. Yeah, again, I'm not showing off Optimus there to say like, "Ooh, look at me." I'm showing it off more to say like these continue to improve in leaps and bounds. If we saw Hasbro improve their toys at this pacing, it would be insane what kind of toys we have now.
Yeah, that's something that we didn't say before. If you buy a case of the Blokees, you have a chance to get a Chase figure. That's something they do with their blind boxes. It's very traditional in blind boxes that can make life a lot more challenging, right? You can get these fancy Chase figures that are really pretty and fun, and they sell like crazy high on the secondary market for Blokees. Like the prices for them on eBay and whatnot are really high. So that's a little rough, but that's part of the game with getting blind box figures, right? Is there's always Chase figures. There's always some sort of exciting, rare, inserted figures. Hopefully they're not the ones you want because they can be a little harder to get a hold of. The rates aren't ridiculous though. Like they're not that hard to get.
Well, what's like a high price?
This one was $50, $56.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 9 to 10 times the price for a regular Blokie. If you were to buy a blind box.
I don't get all the Chases, but I really like this one, so I made sure to get them. I've pulled 2 on my own, Shiny Soundwave and Shiny Grimlock, yay. But this one I had to be sure to get. I love it.
And it's really great. Like the Chases are, at least when they do Chase figures, it's not like, oh, it's blue Optimus and it's just an Optimus like painted blue, like, haphazardly with little details, right? They always make them premium. The Chase figures are always like that's premium, nicer, more detailed paint job, usually shiny. Sometimes fancy accessories come with them. They make them actually special. So when you do get a Chase figure, it's not just like, ooh, I beat the odds. It's, ooh, I got something nicer than I could have got it otherwise, which is a nice thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and the one that Christian just showed, it has clear plastic where the normal version doesn't.
It does. And it does have the shiny paint where the other version doesn't.
Yeah.
When I said I pulled Shiny Soundwave and Shiny Grimlock, it's the same kind of metallic, reflective paint.
Yeah.
It's really stunning to see in person, although it doesn't pick up as well on camera. But yes, it does have the clear plastic, and it is super.
So that's kind of the basic line is the Galaxy. Those are the basic. They're not very big, but they're not super small either. So they're smaller
Wait,
than
there's
the Deluxe.
more.
They're like core class ish. But
yeah, I'd say in between core and deluxe, they kind of live in that size space.
But then they started releasing different types of Blokees, which they have been the whole time. I guess actually before I go off into one of the oddball sizes, I should mention the kind of deluxe version of Galaxy that we've had the whole time. The idea of Classic Class, which has transformed into something way fancier in the last few releases. Classic Class was originally just Galaxy with more detailed pieces. Mm-hmm. Now it tends to be completely unique molds, and they're significantly bigger, they're significantly more complicated, and they're significantly more money too. Not blind box, you just buy them individually, at least twice as much as a Galaxy figure, but usually more than that, depending on where you find them and how much you pay for them. But they are nicer, right? Like here I have an illustration of character in both Classic Class and Galaxy Class, right? You have your Alita You can tell which one's which by the size. Obviously, it's the cogless and the cogged version from TF1, so it's like appropriate that there's size difference, but this is just the size difference, right? The classic class are a lot bigger, they're more complicated, they're fancier, they're nicer, right? They're nicer figures, but they are closer to traditional model kits, and that they get to be like 100 pieces big, and they take significantly longer to put together, especially if you're like me and you're very picky about how well you get your sprue marks off of your figures before you assemble them, and you don't leave marks on them. So yeah, they're neat, they're nice.
And I think, like we said earlier too, there is a class in between Classic and Galaxy, and that is the Shining. And those are the same essentially molds as the Galaxy, but they have the LED inside them, maybe a few more accessories. And so again, what I want to kind of show here is the uptick in terms of the molding and stylization as the Classic wave has gone on. So this is an early Classic wave. This is a Rise of the Beast Nemesis painted Optimus here. And so he does light up. It's a little harder to see, but when you open up his chest, you can see like the light in there from the Matrix. You got the LED right there, but still that sort of super deformed kind of look to him, where he's got like the head that's just a little bit disproportionately too large. The torso is much smaller than the rest of the body. But then here's one of the more recent classics, and that's Transformers 1 Soundwave. And you can see it is bigger. So they already did increase the size. You still have the LED going on here, so you've got this can open up, and it lights up the eyes, it lights up the chest, but much more looking like how Transformers 1 Soundwave looked in the movie versus this being the more stylized chibi SD kind of version that they were doing for the first classics. Do either of you guys have Megatronus yet?
Not yet.
Yes, but not assembled.
Okay, so Megatronus, I've seen it at Paul's place. So I don't have it myself. It doesn't look to me that he has a light inside of him anymore. So it looks like they got rid of the LED inside the classics again, as they're trying to adjust what the price point situation is. Now, he does have what looks like light piping within the head, so you can still get kind of the light piping effect. But because of the uniformity in the way Blokees are built, even these classics use the same inner torso that the Galaxies do. So if you were to take a Shining or older Galaxy figure that had the light up LED, you could put that inside Megatronus and make Megatronus light up. Again, you're kind of kit bashing things there, but yeah, he's the newest one, and he's kind of interesting that I think he's just in a wave of just essentially two. It's him and Jetwing Optimus from Revenge of the Fallen, which is a really interesting. Dark of the Moon. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Departure.
Yeah, really big departure there of what they have going on. So, and in the Galaxy side, they've done G1 heavy. On the classics, they've done a lot of Transformers 1 and a lot of it kind of coincided with the classics kind of coming out relatively shortly after Rise of the Beast. So you had Rise of the Beast, Transformers 1 with classics, and now we're getting some of the Bayverse. We don't really have a lot of the G1 stuff represented in the classic scale.
And they just announced Transformers 07 Megatron today. Or yesterday?
Yeah.
One of those days. That's the classic.
Yeah.
Classic
Him and
is very
Bumblebee as
movie.
well, correct?
I didn't see one for Bumblebee, but I saw the Megatron announcement, so it's
Yeah, it was
possible.
announced at some point. Maybe Wonder
I think it was
Fest. I
last
can't remember
week.
exactly.
Yeah. There was one of those Chinese conventions where they, because Blokees are from China. So you had some new figures announced there.
Speak of
You
the
have to
devil, we
qualify the
got
state.
Paul.
Maybe.
We do. We've just
Maybe.
been doing an education original so far, Paul. We've just been going over the different types of Blockies.
Cool.
We started kind of at the middle and are slowly working our way out. We've talked about Galaxy and Shining and how the molds have improved and the bodies have improved. And then we just started kind of talking about classics. So we haven't done the really big fellas or the really little dudes.
If I can pause this just briefly, we've talked about the LEDs. Do these actually do anything for you guys? Like, does
Nope.
this really enhance the figure for you? Because it
I've only
really
gotten Shining
doesn't for me.
because I needed the characters that were in them. Ramjet, Shadowglass Magnus, Beachcomber. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
I like it. I mean, I think this Ratchet toy is really not a good one. But then when you do the LED and he's got the light up chest and he's got like a little the heart rate monitor thing going on in the chest, I personally like it and think it adds to it. I think again with the improvements that they've done, a lot of the earlier Shinings were just the classic molds, but with the LED in the chest, and so some of them you wouldn't have. I'm sorry, a lot of the early Shinings were just the classic molds with just the LED in the chest, and you would have like you had like Shining Sideswipe, and his eyes would light up, but that was it. You know, some of the other ones like the Seekers, the chest would light up because that was kind of like part of the design. But now with like the most recent wave of Shinings, they're building in, like in that Bumblebee that Anna has, they're designing in the chest, in the sculpt, areas and places for the light to come through, even for characters who don't necessarily have that by nature. Like they did a Tarn in the Galaxy class a couple waves ago, and now they've done one in the Shining class, and he has a different chest and allows for the light to shine through. And it just, I personally do think it improves the toy and makes it, I don't know, just kind of cooler to look at once you do the little tap and it lights on up.
I was just thinking today how the Shining are so stupid and worthless, and then because I saw the Shattered Glass Starscream, and I was like, "Come on, guys, we're doing this shit again. We're going another Shining round." Because
I didn't see that.
They're annoying to collect because the ratio is different than the Galaxy version, and they're more. It's the same expense for less toys, and the chases are much harder to get because they're just how the ratio works out. They're more expensive, but the Shining class have been ways to get improved characters. Because what you didn't mention about that Sideswipe is it comes with the jetpack. Like a lot of the remakes have extra parts. They're more fancy, like the Grimlock that actually has the correct Grimlock deco without gray thighs. It has black thighs. Big whoop, I know, but you know that's a better way to get. And like the Soundwave was a real pain in the ass to get in Galaxy, but you could get it. It's basically the Chase version in the Shining release. So it's like
the Galaxy Tarn. Yeah, the Galaxy Tarn versus the Shining. The Shining came with an extra head, so you could have the maskless glitch head. Versus the Galaxy Tarn did not have that; it only just had one head. So they are trying to give you more with those. For the record,
it comes with maskless roller head. It is not glitch head.
Well, it's the head he had in.
Yeah,
it's the head he had, which is roller head.
Well, but no. It's not Roller's head. It maybe looks like Roller to you, but that was the red herring, Christian.
Glitch was impurated and Roller was not.
He was unimpurated.
Okay.
Why would you say that? Why would you make up a character and be like, oh yeah, let's say that his head looks like someone else's, just randomly, whoever's. Like it has no relation to Roller.
Christian, can I ask a weird question?
I'm gonna push back on that one.
How weird?
Are your favorite Transformers the Triggercons? Is that your favorite group of Transformers? Your favorite team? Did you just triggered Paul? You just triggered Paul real quick. He was in this. Okay. He was in this for all of like 2 minutes. And Christian's
I had to slap my face.
Yeah,
it was terrible. But I was gonna say we were all talking about special things that come. With the Shining, the Shining Bumblebee comes with probably the biggest Spike toy we've ever gotten, right? He's a pretty big gray statue of Spike which is just a really random butt inclusion in there, but it's there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
If someone would paint it for me, it would look neat.
And
It's
they didn't
weird
even
gray.
advertise that. I opened the bag and surprise, Spike was in it. I was like,
Right.
what?
It's just
What?
there. It's like
Same thing happened
it's
with
huge.
one Alita 1 that had the deer in it. I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah, why specifically with her, right? It's just like it's cool. Like I like the little deer, but it just comes with her for some reason.
It
Surprise!
was odd. Yeah.
The present.
I do feel like if a character is like more lithe and slender, you get a little bit more with it. Like, what was it? Transformers 1 Classic Starscream came with Megatron alt mode.
I'm trying to find the new Shining Wave because Paul mentioned it. Oh wow, the Shadow Glass Starscream looks amazing.
It does look pretty good. Although, where's Thrust, man?
He'll come out later. What really surprises me is how quickly these announcements come out. Like, that one completely missed me because they just keep doing it. I mean, we just released Defender. We'll get to Defender. Wave 4, and then they announced Wave 5, I don't know, 2 weeks after that? I mean, they're just coming at such a rapid pace
what's
now.
Defender? You haven't defined that yet.
We'll get to Defender. You want to do
It's Flash,
Defender
Defender of the Universe.
It's in my hand.
Christian,
Defender.
if I could answer the question of
Yes,
why
please.
are they coming out so quick, it has to do with the combiner stuff. I think they're trying to steamroll that real quick.
Blokees has combiners?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They realize, holy crap, everyone's freaking out about this Devastator.
Please tell us more about the Devastator and the combiners, Paul.
Well, the thing that was kind of novel about the Defenders was that they had alt modes. And one because the regular Blockies don't have alt modes except for the Dinobots, but then there was always like in all the Defender waves there's 4 vehicles. And then, the first one came with Scavenger. Well, you're showing that's wave 2, right? So yeah, you got the 2 Constructicon. They basically abandoned the Constructicon robots at this point. They just said, "Oh yeah, here's the vehicles," which was kind of bizarre. If you've been following along, it was like, wait a minute, I want the robots, and then suddenly everyone figured out they had combiner ports on them, and then they make this extra blocky set that you can use to put together the vehicles into a robot, which caused some international controversy for a moment, but I think they've worked it out. So now it's full steam ahead.
Devastator.
Not full steam hammer ahead. That's a different combiner.
That's a different Constructicon guy. It's 2 different Constructicon guys.
So yeah, these Defender ones are actually super deformed, right? Like
Yep.
you can see from the picture. I don't have any on hand at the moment. There we go. Phil has one. They're actually super deformed. They are small. They're not big at all, and they are significantly cheaper and do come with apparently combiners. Like that's what they've decided to do in them.
Yeah, these should average $3 per figure versus the $8 to $9 of the Galaxy, and then it's like stair steps from there.
I was not on board. Super deformed has never ever been for me. And then I got a couple from Paul just to try them out, and I fell for them. I mean, the combiner thing helped. I had to get a couple different cases to make that work, or else people were charging astronomical amounts just for the vehicles. I was like, well, if it's going to be $10 for one of these or $30 for a dozen of them, like, well, I mean that's a no-brainer for me. So I've gotten a couple more, and it's like, oh, these are actually rather nice. I like assembling them. They're pretty cute. And now I have every Defender.
They're really well made. Like they're really
well made.
good for what they are. They're not small enough to be Lego compatible. They're not really Creo replacements, but they're little weird Transformers that are cheap and easy to put together and still posable, right? They put the joints in them to make them actually still move around, which is why they persuade me why I have them all and like them all relatively.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of amazing for the price point. Because if you look at like some of the what What were the like little cheap blind bags they had before for Transformers? And
The Goldie series for the
the
30th
unpainted
anniversary.
crap. What is
They
it?
had a little bit of paint, but they were not good.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name, but I know what you're talking about.
They're called Goldie. That's the company that made them. Goldie.
There's a wave of blind box like eggs or whatever that you find at Target or like balls. They're like the size of Pokeballs kind of thing.
Oh, those are not good. Those are poor plastic, and they're $10 a piece.
Right. That's my point. Yeah, they're more expensive. They don't move as well. The designs are okay, but yeah, they don't feel nearly as good quality of this. I mean, the Chinese children they have assembling these are really the higher end, like Chinese children factory workers. I will say that.
Talking about tiny turbo changers, Lucas. That's what
Yes,
you meant.
thank you. That's what I was going for.
Oh, those.
Tiny
Mine
turbo
was even
changers-
further back.
Tiny turbo changers were their own little unique things. I think they were a lot of fun. I think that they should have probably been a little nicer for how much they ended up costing, but especially when you compare them to Blockies, but they were a lot of fun. One thing I did want to throw in while we were talking about Defenders real fast is Defenders kind of throws for a loop here where that they have every box comes with 2 of the figures in their regular deco, or you get one of them in a special deco, which is like a little chase. It's a little bit of a chase. Or you can even get the super chase. Right, which means that you're chasing harder when it comes to these, even though the price of a case
Big
of
time.
them is a lot cheaper. To get these two, you have to buy a lot of boxes or get really lucky. I pulled one on my first try. Some people do.
The first
Lots of
bag
people
you
don't.
opened?
It was really early in the box. It might have been the
Cool.
first one. I was just like, oh, look at that. It's the Super J Starscream. How cool.
Paul really
and
likes
it's
Super Chase
fine.
anything. They're his
You know,
favorite.
like they are cool. They are really good. Again, they make them nicer. They're fancy, blah, blah, blah. But they're a little rough, as far as getting them. And they sell like crazy on the secondary market too. Just like the chases do for the Galaxy. Maybe a
Yeah,
little more crazy.
They really changed the chase dynamic with the Defenders, like big time. It's confusing. Like there's no consistency. There's consistency within the specific price point, but like across the price points, it's wacky. So like if you're not really paying attention to how blockies work, it can get very confusing very quick.
Yeah, if you tell someone that you want to get some blockies, you could end up with any number of different things.
Yeah.
We even have one more that we haven't talked about, which is the Action Edition.
But can we pause for a second and come back to one of the earlier talking points?
Sure.
How long has these toys been out for?
2 years.
Yeah, it's going so
3 years?
fast.
Yeah. Like 2 to 3 years. I think, maybe 3 years, but I think for a lot of folks it didn't get on our radar till about 2 years ago. And we're talking 5 different size classes, different chase setups. And Talib brought this up in the chat that like they're gobbling up other properties left and right. I mean, these are kind of becoming the next Funko Pop type of thing. I don't know if they'll get that level of saturation, but they've got Ultraman over in Japan and China that they're releasing. They've got now Marvel and DC that they're doing, specifically Marvel Rivals. So that kind of stylization, those will start to be allowed in the US. These aren't in the US yet, but they're over in Asia. They've got Pokemon, and I mean this Charizard is freaking fantastic. I mean, he comes with a base, he comes with several different blast effects. Just the ease of how he puts together, just how great he looks, and this is obviously like very different in terms of the aesthetic that you're getting from the Transformers, but the build quality is similar, and the build, just like the ease of the build on it, is really freaking easy, and these are great, and they've got more. I feel like every time I open up, social media app and see an announcement for Blockies, it's like some new property that they've got and something else that's coming out.
Star Wars one. Sesame Street has been around for a little bit. The Evangelion series has just started coming out.
Yeah.
They've got that one that looks like Knights or something. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I think that's an Asian property kind of thing.
It really blows my mind, like how it looked like they were just a chibi brand, at first. And no, they can bring the heat. Like, look at those Evangelion units. Holy good goddamn! I mean,
they can compete with
like
my wheel grades any day.
Yeah, like they are really. I don't know if they're poaching the right designers or what, because I don't know what building a model kit is like a different thing than building designing an action figure. I have to imagine. Maybe it's the exact same thing, and I am just an idiot. You just don't have to have a factory put it together. But I am just amazed at some of the stuff I see coming out. Like all the Evangelion. I mean, the units are out right now, Unit 1 and 2. But like, look at all the stuff they have coming. It looks like all the Revel
Zero is there, and they're doing right, and they're doing the pilots. They're doing pilots in Chibi. Hopefully, they're doing Angels. And they're doing something with the cockpit. I don't know. It's
well, they just this seems like a different size class or wave that they're doing. I saw they're doing Powerpuff Girls.
I didn't see that one yet.
That was like part of that whole Chinese collectible convention that they had going on. And so it was.
But how many times have I said tonight that I haven't seen that? Or Phil, how many times did you just say that you look and it's a different property every day that they have? I mean, they're very quickly taking over stuff, and it's going so fast that you can easily miss the news. It's hard to stay on top of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys were watching the show from last week to see that they're actually doing vehicle mode Transformers as one of their next things. They're actually going to make cars and trucks and various things.
Their wheels
IDW in the future.
I didn't even recognize that until Paul told me what it was, because Swerve doesn't transform that much when he was in IDW. But surprise, his vehicle mode's going to be in the first wave of that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who else is doing that? I mean, Hasbro made a sort of half attempt at it 10 years ago, 11 years ago. But it had a very non-IDW alt mode. IDW robot mode, yay. Alt mode, no. And this is here it is.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Again, even with that brand new line, their wheels line is just oh yeah, we're doing a bunch of Batmobiles too.
Great.
Yeah. So
I want to talk about IDW just briefly, because I showed this off. Blokees is the only company out there now carrying the IDW torch. They're using a bunch of those designs, both for the rides and the galaxies. And they're also still carrying the Shattered Glass torch, which I really love, because Hasbro seems to have abandoned that as much as they ever had it.
I will say, also last week at Wonderfest, the also licensed non-transforming Transformers company, All Day, is also doing IDW characters. They announced that they're doing a Tailgate, a Cyclonus, and a couple others.
Drift.
And opening, I think it's Drift. It was just a gray model, and I wasn't 100% sure because I didn't look at it too long. But all I heard about was the fact that they're doing a Tailgate, right? Tailgate hasn't gotten very many accurate figures, and that made me really happy.
It's just strange to me that a lot of those companies are not in the U.S. market, really. Blokees, you finally kind of is.
Yeah.
You can find them on Walmart.
Terrible to get in the U.S.
They're awful to get in the U.S. They're good toys, but ugh. But Lucas found that kind of inspired this show on Walmart. And I was looking at Target's big deals today, and they have them on the app now. You can just buy Blokees from Target now.
Oh,
and you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that last month.
Well, and how much are they at Target? Because I think Walmart, they're $5 or whatever. And it's funny because my local Walmart, whenever I go in there, they keep getting cases in, and you see them just going through them, where they, they sell out pretty quick.
That is the worst way to buy Blokees, though, from Walmart off the shelf. You might as well put a gun to your head and spin the revolver and see where it lands. I mean, it's silly.
It's getting them out
mixed up. I opened one today that I bought. It was pretty cheap. It had 3 bumblebees in it. I was like, oh, whoops. Nice. I knew better than this.
but it's getting them out to non-collectors. They're getting them out to the general population.
Right.
And that's interesting.
The thing that I think is interesting, I know we haven't talked about it for a while, is my kids are old enough that they're like not as much into toys anymore, right? But for anyone that has a younger kid, like, I mean, the price point of Transformers keeps going up and up and up. Deluxes are what, like $30 now or something, or 25, I don't know, whatever they are. And so to be able to walk into a Walmart and purchase a Transformers product that my kid might actually like and have fun with for $5, like, I mean, I really can't do that almost anymore and buy them something that's not complete crap, at $5.
This is taking the market that Basics once had. Mm-hmm. Basics, or, I mean, I guess later Legends. But yeah, that $5 classic price point for something, Blokees is that price point now.
GoBots.
And we talked about this in a few months back in an episode. Like, one of the things that we kind of discussed, like, why are Blokees succeeding when some other non-transforming lines have not done well? And these are model kits that you have to put together. They don't take long. The Defenders especially are pretty quick, like less than 5 minutes to put it together. But there is a tactile, like, interactivity that you have with them that you don't get from just a regular action figure. And where they're different than, like, say, a Gundam kit is that you can play with these and not worry about it falling apart on you, if you mess around with it for more than 10 seconds. Same, I would say that for maybe once you start to get to the classics scale, they start to get a little bit more finicky, that some parts might pop off, but for the most part, like, I mean, Galaxy scale, yeah, you can F around with these all day long. And
to that point, I want to talk about the Avas again. I finished building Unit 1, and that thing is sturdy as heck. Like, when I say it can go up against my real grades or my high grades from Bandai, they look similar. But when I finish building the blocky Ava one, I now have a toy. Like, I can do stuff with it, and it's not going to fall apart. It's not going to have pieces fall off of it. It's not going to stress mark and snap, unless I do something really stupid, crazy with it. But I don't do that. So it's like, yeah, when I finished it, I had a toy, as opposed to when I finished it, I had a display piece.
I guess that means we should talk about Action Edition then, huh?
Yeah, the Avas
are the most toy of the Blokees stuff. Like, all the Blokees stuff is toy-like in its durability and its playability and whatnot. But these are made to mimic large, high-grade action figures in a build-your-own figure capacity, right? These are 300-ish part model kits. They are more similar in difficulty and complexity to what you would expect from Gunpla, more of like a Bandai kit or a Kotobukiya kit. But what you end up in the end, like they were just saying, doesn't feel like those model kits, right? Like, I have a dog on my lap, so reaching up to get Danes is hard. But, I have a frame arms girl right here, right? And, they're about the same in complexity and difficulty to put together, except the thing in my right hand is super fragile and makes me nervous just holding it and messing with it. Posing it almost every time, I'll have to put parts back on and be very gentle with it. This is a toy, right? This is something I can pose and play with and have go and do some destruction. Also has fully posable fingers, which is really excessive. Like, this is a very solid, fun action figure style toy where this is scary to mess with. I like them both for their own reasons, but they have really focused on making things toy-like in their construction, not as model kit-like.
That was a great assessment of what Action Edition is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think just even those, in terms of the quality that you're getting for the price point, compared to a Gundam of comparable size, it's a cheaper toy to buy.
Hey, so what is that price point, would you say?
For the Action?
Yeah.
Was it about $40?
About $40.
Yeah. And you can find some master grade Gundam kits that are $40. They're going to be some of the, I don't know, not as detailed, but the action ones come with a ton of accessories. Again, they light up. The sound wave comes with, multiple cassettes, cassette bots for him to play with. The new Transformers 1 Optimus. You can swap out parts to make him look like, Orion Pax or Optimus. Comes with some crazy cool accessories. Anna's showing off how Megatron comes with Laserbeak and that big wrecking ball hand and Kremzeek. So I mean, like they go like deep cuts with some of these accessories too. So it's just I don't know, man. They scratch so itch itches. Like Christian was saying, they're hitting IDW, they're hitting Transformers 1, they're hitting Bayverse. They're doing Transformers the 86 movie heavily. It just I feel like if you're a Transformers collector, there's very few areas of the Transformers universe. Like, you could say, okay, they haven't done a lot of Unitrilogy stuff, like something like that, or not a ton of Beast Wars. So there's holes in what they're doing, but it won't shock me that they will start hitting those fairly soon.
Yeah, I think they will. I do want to say I was not on board with Action first because I've got the Optimus and it's still got that kind of first wave Blokees proportions, and I think even Megatron looks like that to me.
Yeah.
Less so, but a little bit. But when you get to Soundwave, it's like, oh, this looks like Soundwave now, and I'm excited to get that one eventually. And like you said, the Orion Pax Optimus Prime from Transformers 1 also looks quite good. I'm excited to see where that size class goes.
The Megatron and Optimus for the action scale, to me, there was a slight like Dreamwave aesthetic that I was getting from them. That kind of marshmallowy puffiness of the limbs, I think is shared between both design styles. That you're right. By the time they did Soundwave, it was like, no, we're going to disregard that and go for something like that could stand on a shelf with, your masterpiece Soundwave, and certainly it doesn't transform, but has a real similar aesthetic and proportions to it.
And I was just holding up Megatron to the camera, and I still think he looks puffy.
Yeah.
Not to the degree that Optimus looks weird. I think he looks nice. I think he looks a little strange, and certainly not as strange as Optimus. But
no, I'm glad to see they took care of that inflammation. They got that swelling down, and now hey, they're coming out looking right. So I don't know if it was an infection or allergic reaction, but the swelling has gone down on the Blokees action class.
Allergic reaction, Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify, just in case we have any Gundam collectors and the listeners who are currently rolling in their graves after what Phil said, the Action Edition Blokees are not quite as complex as a Master Grade Gundam kit. They don't really come with as much stuff or as much fanciness as the Master Grade kits do. The Master Grade kits are still kind of a step above in complexity compared to these. But these definitely break the HG 1/100th scale kits in Gundam pretty well, right? I wouldn't say they really defeat Master Grade in complexity, but having Master Grade Gundam kits, they are scary to handle, right? Like they are really neat, they're really complex, they pose great and look wonderful, but they're a lot more fragile than these things are.
You know who they really defeat? Flame Toys.
I think that Flame Toys is not going to be able to really compete now that these are out there, because Flame Toys kits are really expensive, especially like the RC was marketing like 60 or 70, and the kit is infuriating. You pay $40 for this. It's bigger, it's better, it's more stable, it's not infuriating.
Flame Toys does have nice designs. I'll give them that. I'm excited for that animated Optimus next year, but like, I just don't like building them. They're not fun. Their sprue organization is terrible. And like Anna said, they're often infuriating to build.
Yeah, there's always an impossible moment.
Yeah.
Like it takes 30 minutes to like get something to fit into a rubber piece that keeps flopping around or something, and you gotta like will it into existence.
Blokees doesn't do that.
Blokees.
No.
They are painful.
If I were playing Blokees, I would be furious that Blokees got licensed to do the same thing in my space.
Blokees is the one thing I would say would be a negative against Blokees, to depending upon how you look at it, is the uniformity of so many of them does start to get like, they're not as fun to build. They're more fun once you get them built than a Gundam kit or something, but the uniformity of the build, I could see some people getting turned off by just, all right, here are the same steps again, kind of thing. But yeah, Paul, I remember when you were talking about Flame Toys Bumblebee, and you're like, dude, something with the chest. There's something there that's going to take you like 30 minutes. I'm like, man, I've built so many Gundam kits. I will be able to do that. Like, I got to that point. I'm like, the fuck is going on here? You know, it's like the, you know, fans toys. It's like the fans toys where you like, no, you need a spudger, you need something to do this, but like there's no tool or whatever for you to do it. You need to like freaking Kitty Pryde Shadow Cat phase your hand through the chest to be able to like pinch the two parts together that need to connect.
I took like a 2-day break when I was building their Windblade, the Flame Toys Windblade. I had to, like, I was getting so mad putting it together that I just had to take a break because there were just so many things that were painful and small and uncomfortable and sometimes impossible. Just had to walk away from it for a couple days.
Did you have to walk away
painful,
from
small, and comfortable is how I describe my nightlife.
Did you ever have to walk away from Action Edition Megatron?
I think I went to sleep once because I was in the middle of building it in the middle of the night because I build during D&D, but no, I did not need to walk away. Like, there was no need for a break. I did have trouble getting his head together. Like, I do remember that being frustrating. I do remember his head still is more split apart than I want it to be. Like, that was a piece I just couldn't get to push together. And that kind of stuff will still happen with any kit, but I do think it's a lot less painful.
I will say I do think that does happen more frequently with Blokees than like a Gundam kit will, where parts sometimes just don't, especially the heads, feel like you just get a bigger seam than you like.
I know you're talking about the Action Edition, but I think, Phil, you just touched on exactly what I was going to say. The only gripe I ever have is once in a while, that little peg that goes through the hole or whatever method you have to use to like link the face piece to the helmet. Mm-hmm. Once in a while, if you build 100 Blokees, at least 2 of them or 3 of them, whatever, that 1 out of 50, something, is gonna like get misaligned by a micrometer or something and just be hell to get to push through that peg. It was once in a while. It's I
had that happen on one of them.
Worth it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, to the point like Anna was making, I grabbed one of my Master Grade Gundam kits, the Tallgeese here. Tallgeese 1, for those of you, not Tallgeese 2 or 3. And yeah, this is better, more detailed. But to Anna's point as well, like, I don't feel like I can like kind of pose him, and like Christian said, it's then a display piece. I'm not gonna I don't let my kids mess around with these. I let my kids mess around with Blokees. Maybe not with the classics and the action class as much, but I wouldn't even let my kids mess around with high grade Gundam kits. You know, let alone master grade. But yeah, Blokees, they're toys once you build them. And like my kids, like they love swap apart toys. And that is another thing you can do with Blokees is like, I'm just gonna make this. Like my son the other day was like, hey Dad, I made you a Devastator. I'm like, I don't have the part for Devastator. I don't have that many, all those Defenders. And he had taken the Galaxy class Constructicons and just made a Frankenstein, you know, Devastator out of it. Just like, because it's all ball joints and it's all, you know, ubiquitous in terms of the joints and the interconnectivity.
That's pretty neat. I have another separate gripe about Blokees, and is that you don't often come across missing pieces unless you're Transformers 1 D16. But when you have missing pieces, the support for them is non-existent, at least in my experience. I've never been able to get them to answer the email, or DM, anything to try and get some post-sale support there.
Have you tried translating your email into
I have not.
Kind of joking, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Again, he's a Chinese company.
Also, if you buy from their direct site in the U.S., they ship stuff super weirdly. Like they don't put any of the boxes in another box. They just kind of make a stack and then they tape them all together and they send them off, and that's really weird. I mean, everything I've bought from there has made it, but it arrives and it's like this misshapen, malformed conglomeration of boxes, and I'm like, who does this, and how is this efficient at all? I guess it saves them
the Chinese DNA
money.
of the company coming through in that. Actually, I mean, you ever got anything from China? They like love tape.
Good point. Yeah, at least it's not that smelly tape that you get from overseas packages. This is just normal packing tape. That smelly yellow tape.
This tape.
Come on, you get that.
They don't do the yellow tape.
No, it's clear tape.
I didn't realize they had clear tape in China.
They don't. It doesn't come from China. It comes from the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go.
Well,
but
it's always
I think you guys are missing out. That's an extra feature, though, of that yellow tape. You get a nice little buzz when you're opening the toy.
Ugh.
I'm just saying, every package I've ever gotten from specifically China, the tape is like discolored, like they've been smoking in that warehouse or wherever it's from.
Can you imagine that?
I know.
They've been smoking in the warehouse. They've been smoking in the delivery truck. They've been smoking in the distribution center. They've been smoking on the boat that's bringing it overseas.
Smoking on the plane.
Yeah.
Tully brings up a good point that, he feels like that these kids kind of bridge the gap between Transformers fans and action figure fans. And I know, like, just in general, there's a lot of, like, Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series collectors that, probably wouldn't mind getting into Transformers, but they're not going to do transforming figures. But, like, I don't know.
But they could buy Red, Lucas and Talib. They could buy the Red series.
Yes, they could buy Red. Sure.
I mean, I'm sure there's a couple Walmarts out there that still have, like, an end cap with those on clearance.
Right. But my question to you guys is like, has that been your experience with some of your friends that are non-Transformers collectors? Have they gotten into these as well? Or
no.
Not that I've picked up on.
Yeah.
No. I can illustrate the other side of it, though. My dad casually collects Ultra Magnus for reasons, and I couldn't get him to assemble a Magnus. I said, this will take you 10 minutes. It'll be super fun. And that was just a hard no from him. He was never, ever going to do it. So I did it for him and got another one. But, like, I think if you're that hard up against against assembling your own stuff, then you're never going to even get a Blokees. Even the Defenders, I don't think he would have done. But maybe that's a unique experience. I don't know. It's an experience that I had.
There's also the whole, like, it doesn't transform crowd that just refuses to give it the time of day, which I just, like, that's like caveman speak at this point for me. I don't know what they're thinking. That's like
There's so much non-transforming product now.
Right. I know, but I feel like that's where the fact that's a model kit. For me, I don't like non-transforming Transformers for the most part. Like, I haven't bought any of the Yellow Park figures. I haven't purchased any of the Flame toys. The model kits feels different. Model kits, I feel like, okay, I have a little puzzle to put together. I have a little project to do and sit down with. Like when I get a box of, like, the Galaxy Wave figures, like, I'll space them out. Like, I've got my two boys, and so in a Galaxy Wave box, you got 9 figures in that wave. And so they'll be like 3 weeks or 2 weekends in a row or something. We're like, hey, we got 20 minutes free in between soccer games. We're each going to pull a Blokees out of the box and build it. And we're going to see who we get. And that's going to be fun because the blind box aspect to it. And then we're going to sit there as a family, the 3 of us together, and each build our new little model guy, Transformer action figure.
My girlfriend and I build them together once a week. It's awesome.
Yeah. And again, that to me, that tactile interaction that you have with Transformers from transforming them, but you didn't have with the red toys, you don't have with flame toys. That Blocky scratched that itch and then some for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you touched on is the thing that you particularly like about Transformers is still there with the Blockies. If like, I always think it's the robot, the vehicle, and the transformation, and then there's fiction. You know, maybe that you can consider that a fourth like piece of the pie. But the instead of it being instead of the Transformer, the puzzle play, you get the build play, which isn't it's not one for one, but it can definitely replace the other. To me, like that is the if you need Transformers that transform, well, that's the transformation. It's the building of it. And sure, you only do it once, but you could take it apart if you want. You could take it back and forth.
Oh yeah, no, my kids definitely do take it apart.
Really? Well,
yeah.
You know, I don't think I've heard you guys mention this, and I know I have before, but like the customizability of these things is off the chain. So if you're into that, I mean, like I love part swapping. It's my because I hate destroying any part of the toy because of the, it needs to be pure, right? Once you've painted it, it's ruined. The history's ruined. But with Blockies, it's all part swapping. The whole thing is.
Yeah, that's the
I just realized the Devastator was within reach here. So yes, this is my son's customized Galaxy scale Devastator.
Okay,
you know what that reminds me of?
Your son made that.
That reminds me of Creo combiners. Remember how Creo combiners were basically that? You would just shove bodies together.
Yeah, like the legs would become like, these are the hands now. I'm like, I guess if I squint hard enough.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's why that Devastator set was so like desired, because for a whole year when they were coming out with the individual Constructicons, everyone under the sun was like, "Whoa, I think I figured out how to make the combining Devastator out of the Galaxy ones."
Mm-hmm.
Which everyone fuddled through it. It always looked like garbage. But then when they made the vehicle versions, everything clicked. And you don't see a lot of those bizarro Galaxy version Devastators anymore because everyone just plays with the thing Anna's holding up because it looks incredible.
It looks incredible. I do want to express that, I was way too excited for this set. Putting them all together, having to wait a long time to get the American release because we did have that like fun controversy where Hasbro was like, that's a transforming figure, don't do it, Blockies. And then Blockies was eventually somehow they got it out. I don't know what happened internally. And I don't really care because it eventually got to me and that's fine. But I think what I had hyped myself up for, which is really what these probably should have been, is a set of little vehicles that you can put together, build Devastator, take back apart, play with the vehicles, put back in the Devastator, and like any other Transformers combiner, right? Any other combiner, you take it apart, put it back together, and that's part of the play value. Taking this thing apart, I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone, right? Because I already, Christian and I talked about it. Both of us ended up feeling like we got some pressure marks on our long haul, putting it together, just from taking it apart, right? Because he was really firmly together as a little dump truck, and I had to really kind of bend the pegs a little teeny bit to take him apart. Now I really would not want to take apart this chest assembly. I think I could probably pop off the legs without worrying too much, but gosh, these joints are actually in there really firmly, and they pop in with that whole semi-permanence of a model kit. So really, it feels more like this turned out to be Defender boxes come with, 8 to 10 figures and then some Build-A-Figure parts. Is really what it feels like in the end. Is that I was collecting Build-A-Figure parts, then I had to buy the little extra kit, and then I can make my Build-A-Figure out of it. And now it's no longer going to become vehicles, right? It would be easier to take apart my Titan class Devastator than it would be to take this apart.
Well, it's really a model kit then.
It really is a model kit now. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But it plays like a toy in your hand.
Yeah.
It plays like a toy. Yeah, it does play like a toy. It's stable, it's firm. It's like everything else from Blockies, right? I'm not afraid of it breaking. unless I tried to take it back apart and turn it into vehicles again. Then I'd be afraid of it breaking.
Well, that could be their differentiator though in the market. With if they got told like that is too similar to our play pattern, like, well, actually, you're not really supposed to take this apart. Like, it makes a lot more sense together than apart at all. So don't worry, it doesn't interfere with your. Not saying that they were up against Hasbro with the Studio Series Devastator or anything, but like you could say like that's a differentiator beyond all the other obvious ones, like how big it is and that it's a Transformer. I wonder if that the legal issue or whatever maybe had more to do with. I always interpreted it as, oh, you're moving into action figure realm and out of model kit realm, and that interferes with what we do in America. And plus, you're dealing with Hasbro, and the Marvel stuff never came over until recently, like Phil mentioned, because the Marvel stuff has been wave, like many waves in Asia. But I bet Hasbro's like, yeah, we're not going to let you make little dolls of the same license we do.
Well, and it's interesting with Marvel because they're doing a big focus on Marvel Rivals. Which they don't have figures of the Marvel Rivals game stuff through Hasbro and Marvel Legends. Now, I'm sure at some point we probably will get that, but that again could be that like, here's this little hard to see line in the sand that makes it enough that there is some separation.
I'd buy that.
Or they're just like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. These things are selling like crazy, so who gives a shit? We're just going to let it come in.
Yeah, whatever issue they had, they worked it out, and all is good. Now we just need the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah, man.
Please, those are.
I saw another new Pokemon today. They got another new Blokees Pokemon they announced today. What was it? Piplup? Who's the little penguin? The starter penguin. Yeah.
All I know is Snorlax, dog.
Dude, that Snorlax looks sweet.
Wow, not even Pikachu.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah, and me, whatever. I know. I was just kidding.
Oh.
Anna,
how dare you uncover my secret shame?
I don't know about Pokey. Anna, you touched on something that I kind of like. You're diving into the marketing, and it sounds like you don't love it. Like you feel like you got duped, kind of. But like the marketing strategy of Blokees, which is exactly what you said. Buy 3 cases because that's how hard it is to get the. By the way, it's not equal 2, 2, 2. It's 1, 2, and 3. So one of the cases feels like if all you want are those pieces, one of the cases feels more expensive than the others, and one feels like a deal, but the middle one is boring.
I've seen people selling their almost complete sets of Defender Blokees, just minus the Constructicons, trying to be like, please buy this. These are stupid. I don't want them. And I just wanted the Devastator parts. And I totally get that because this, like, how many chances have we actually gotten to get a really playable Devastator? Like, I know that the Titan technically is playable, but it's huge and it's not the most stable product ever. The new Devastator is also quite big and quite new, and it's not going to be as stable as a Blokie for all things. This is one of our chances to get a real stable Devastator action figure.
It's pretty solid, Anna.
It is pretty solid, but having them both, because I've messed with them both extensively, and I was like, the Blokie's better. I mean, they're different, okay? Like you can't really compare.
It's a little toy.
But that is
in theory.
It's
you can get that Devastator for $30-ish.
Kind of.
Practically, probably not. But like,
if you want to jump on that bandwagon now, Brawl is out in the most recent wave of Defenders, and then in the wave that's about to come out,
Swindle and Blast Off. Is it 3 of them?
No, I think just Onslaught and Swindle.
Okay.
Swindle.
But they only need 5, right?
They only need 5.
Yep.
So one more wave plus another combiner kit.
But, oh shit, that's why they're doing the Dinobots too. Because they're both 5. Unless they add paddles or Scorn or whatever to the combiner.
G1 Scorn, do it.
Scar, that's the new one.
Scar, yeah.
But Scorn would be cooler. Like
Scorn and Slash. Just do them in G1.
All 3
They've already did
all
Slash.
of them.
Yeah.
Well, but notice there's no Dinobots. Oh my God, that's what they're going to do. In the next set, they're going to have 2 Dinobots and no Combaticons.
Oh, cool.
That's exactly what these assholes are going to do. You sons
Technobots
of bitches.
win.
But so
but here's the thing, like
psychology behind this.
But with the pace that they're doing that, we'll have Bruticus and Volcanicus built by Christmas. Like, I'm exaggerating, but it's speedy.
It'll be built by St. Patrick's Day.
Because Defender only started like less than a year and a half ago.
Earlier this year, it feels like.
It's only been around for a little over a year, and people have
still had a functioning democracy when Defender started.
That's true. We did.
We did.
We already have 48 Defender figures, right, in that year. When you give yourself that number, 4 waves means 48 of them. 49 through 60 has been announced.
Plus, you got to get chases.
Plus the chases, right? That actually makes the number
plus
even
the
bigger.
Devastator kit.
Plus the Devastator kit. That is so much product. And that is why I have once again decided to change my tune on Blokees, because I've realized that the amount of product has just gotten out of control, right? Like, it is coming out so quickly that even displaying all of the Defender figures has gotten to the point where it's hard, right? Like, the Defender figures are tiny, and I have a lot of places I could stick them, but they're getting crazy. If I was to really get into collecting Galaxy, 9 times 8 is already a lot of figures, right? That's already 72, plus the chases, plus the classics, right? You don't know the Blokees. That's like the size of your last 4 years of Transformers collection.
Yeah. But for a lot less money.
That's true. You can get a case of Defender for less than a Voyager. About the same as a Voyager.
I think you're 100% right. It is less.
Yeah,
I think it's 30 versus 35 or something, but yeah.
Oh, no, it's...
Do you guys remember when BotBot first came out and I was using those shot glass shelves for them?
Yeah.
I don't anymore because I came up with a better solution, but like, I still got those shelves and I've got a whole lot of Defenders.
Here we go.
Let's see it.
Dilip did call you out and say you've just replaced your BotBots addiction with Defender addiction.
I've just added. I still have all the BotBots. If they were still out, I'd still be doing it. So,
right, but you just
don't get rid of your BotBots. They're beautiful, but
I do want to come.
Christian, never get rid of those.
I do want to come back a little bit to the Defenders thing. You don't have them with all the vehicles, but like Optimus, you can do this, and Shattered Optimus and Rodimus, you can do this. Whereas like you can actually like open up the truck and make it like a little playset thing or interactive thing with the robot Defender classes. So this is, I don't know, this is just a lot of fun for me.
That play feature is really fun. I really do like that play feature on the Optimus. I'm sad that not all the cars have it, because the cars that don't combine and don't have that feel really useless, right? Like the little Bumblebee and the Seekers, like they're not good. They're like two pieces. It's like click clack and
that chibi style on the Seekers that they still carry out doesn't feel great.
Just the vehicle modes.
Yeah.
The humanoid modes are still fun.
With the next wave, they've got, because they already did the cab Optimus, and then with the next wave in the Defenders, you're getting the trailer with roller. And so you can do all the things that the G1 trailer did, where you can have it connect to the Optimus cab, or you can turn it upright and be the medical bay or repair bay kind of thing. And so
it has roller.
Yeah, and you get roller in there too, so you can have that whole thing. And then the Optimus, the cab, came with his little like blue and orange canopy turret. And that's something that you can unplug and plug into the cab. I'm sorry, into the trailer.
It just dawned on me, and I don't know why it's taken me until listening to you guys for an hour, because I've been dealing with Blokees for 3 years, but I know exactly where the playbook's coming from now, or at least we've seen this before, but it was from the motherland. It was the SCF collection, the pre-Heroes of Cybertron dudes that came in the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, all the way up to 8 or 9, and they had alternate versions of each one in the case. So they were either pewter, some of them were clear, Then after a few sets, they made them pewter or vice versa or something. And then there was always a chase or two. And there was even the Build-A-Figure dudes, like the Titans.
The Fort Maxes and the Metroplex.
It's the same story.
It is.
Just because they did a few that were alt modes. Like they had the Truck Optimus, like you were just describing, Phil, that they're doing in the new one. And they had multiple versions of the robots. And that's where we first started getting some of those anime things we'd never seen before. This is early 2000s. It's like Grimlock's helmet. You know, they had the
best Raiden toy.
Yeah, there was a Raiden toy. But we had one. Like I remember that was the first time Megatron and Optimus had the Energon weapons, and those were the chase figures. And unfortunately, that was so cool, but I am sick of it. Like, I don't need the axe in every toy. I don't need the mace. It was a fun special Zynga, but like now it's boring. Can we get an Optimus without a Matrix? But like back then, that shit was awesome. And this is very similar. Like the feeling of like going like releasing a new act, you know, to see which characters were going to be in it. And we were starved for Transformers now. Or back then. Now we eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's not quite the same, but I don't know. I just wanted to draw those
Booster in there as well, or Micromaster Collection. A lot of those were doing blind box stuff at that same time out of Japan for Transformers.
That was a height of the Pokemon craze. Armada came next, right? So it all kind of followed that.
So are you saying we have to catch all the Blokees?
I don't know. I think you need to draw a line, like what Anna said. Like you got to pick Defender, or you got to pick Galaxy or Class. I feel like you're supposed to pick a lane. I think that's that's kind of what they put the mat out. The welcome mat has 5 doors, and you're only supposed to go through one. If you go through multiples, they're not twisting your arm. They'll take it. But like the plan is for if you're going to collect hard, just collect one line.
I'm that freaking glutton. I'm the gluttonous guy. I have at least 2 of every class. And I don't like the Defenders. I'm not even that big of a fan of, but I'm just like, no, I'm going to do the Blokees Defender Bruticus here. And it's like,
I've got all the Defenders. I've got all the Galaxies, and now I've got Avas. So I'm stuck.
And this is on top of buying Transformers.
You don't have
this is on top of buying Transformers, G.I. Joe Classified, Marvel Legends, the occasional Black Series, McFarlane.
You can drop G.I. Joe Classified. You just don't need it. Nobody needs it.
I can't get myself to actually cut the tape on an Action Class one. I just look at it and I'm like, that's a whole day like of work.
I got my Optimus when Walmart offered him for like $18, and I was like, okay, I'll try this. And I might get Soundwave. We'll see.
I'm going to tell you, Paul, that the Action Edition is far less frustrating than that Kotobukiya Optimus girl. Like,
oh, that's good.
These are not as, because she was really frustrating as a kid because of the tiny pieces. Like, I was so surprised because their other kits are not frustrating, but gosh, that kit is frustrating by comparison. These are nothing like that. These are fun. Like, this was a really fun. I go very slow with building kits, so this was like a fun 8 hours for me. It'll be a lot less for you because you go a lot faster.
I mean, I try to speed run it, man. Like I do it as fast as I fucking can, which is probably not good.
But I think that's another thing, right? Like, I really authentically enjoy building model kits in Lego, right? Like the building process is just fun and relaxing. Very few things in life do I actually relax. I have a major problem with relaxing. And building kits is something that actually gets me, like, my heart rate goes down to a normal human level and I actually relax a little bit. So I would say, for me, that's part of the whole reason that I'm enjoying these. But it's also part of the whole reason that I really need to get away from Galaxy, because the building is fine, but it's not enough of a build for me, right? Like,
it's getting better, though. Like, it's getting like there's some surprises in every set, and there's more and more.
Well, I think like really I brought the Unicron down because like This is a Galaxy class toy. This is like so outside the box. And again, we've had the Dinobots in their dinosaur forms, but like there's no part sharing with Unicron and any of the other figures that they've done. You know, will they eventually do the rest of the body? I don't know. I could see them doing that in an action class.
You know, I don't know. That just seems like such a dumb release.
I would so hope that they just, if they do that stays as HasLab Unicron, because they're gonna do like an action class G1, like a perfect G1 version of it.
Yeah,
would be so sick. And it would probably be big. It would probably be a special class. You know, maybe it'd be like $50.
Cosmic class or something.
Yeah. Hey,
good name for that.
Might have heard it here first. Holy buckets. Although with Blokees naming,
should we get a robot mode and a planet mode one?
Ooh, a planet mode.
Well, this one comes with the Autobot shuttle. The Unicron head comes with the Transformers 86 movie Autobot shuttle. Doesn't look quite right, but the fact that it does come with that, and you can take off the parts, and he comes with different eyes to give him like the skeleton face Unicron, face from that they've had in the past.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun and all. I don't want to build that. Like, I don't really want just a Unicron's head. If the rest of him existed, I would happily build the head. I might hold on to mine just so I can be like, well, if they ever make it, I'll build the whole thing. But just the head's kind of weird for me.
I mean, I'm at the point where, kind of the same thing I think we've talked about a little bit here with Blokees, is that you kind of get to the point with them where it's just like, to get the ones I want, I'm going to pay the same amount to get the 5 figures I want out of a wave, or get the whole wave. And my sons and I have so much fun doing it. It's like, I'll just buy the whole wave. Like the Defenders, I'm not at that point, but Shinies and Galaxy, like I'm at that point of just like, all right, I'm just going to buy the whole wave.
I mean, it's super cheap that way.
Less than a Voyager. Galaxies, I think, are less than a liter, or about liter cost.
A little bit less than a Commander.
Okay.
Imagine trying to piece together a wave, because you went into Walmart and bought one, and the next one you bought was a duplicate. So you're like, oh,
practically never be able to do it.
I tried it. I hate myself for it. Like,
yeah, it's
I wish I would not have tried it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an awful way to do it. Just get the case.
Lucas. The whole impetus of this show was to try and convince you to love the 3 that you have and maybe get some more. How did we do?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is just like anything else I've gotten into, and the reason why I have like kind of halted of trying to get into these is because I feel like I will get a bunch, like, whatever, and then just kind of get rid of them, throw them in a pile somewhere.
You should try the ones you have. If you don't like them, take them with you to TFCon. They'll go home with someone else. It'll be fine. Yeah. And if you do like them, then when you come to TFCon, you can come home with more instead. Right? God. Either way, it's win-win.
So, Lucas, did you just get bad ones? Or not the ones you wanted, or what?
Yeah, I mean, they're fine. I think I got Shatterglass, Ratchet, Dirge, and the and Swoop or whatever.
Okay, so you got generally bad ones, except for Swoop.
Yeah, Swoop's
good. Swoop school.
Those ones you just said suck. Shatterglass, Ratchet, that shouldn't even have been there. That was a wasted slot. They had to do that, I guess.
Yeah, Dirge is okay, but the Ratchet's bad.
Fine.
Right, I mean, like, comparative to the other guys in the wave.
Yeah, bring them to TFCon and trade them, because Blokees trading is a fucking thing at these conventions. Like, I promote it. Like, I'm always like, I'll trade you. Show me what you got. Let's do it. I hope they're not built, but like.
Yeah, I'm reading all the ones I don't want to trade. Like, I have like 10 I don't want that I'm hoping to trade for like the ones that I do want, which is like my conclusion with most lines of Transformers, as you guys have known over the years, has been that I need to pick and choose and just get the ones I like from any one line. I'm not a completionist. Completion doesn't make me happy. So it's like every list of Galaxy class stuff, there's like 2 or 3 I want. And I need to just brain mine and, take some weak trades, even like trade 2 for 1 just to get the ones I want and be done with it, right? Like buying a whole wave for me, like it simplifies it because I do get the ones I want. Like this Metroplex is pretty hot right now, and that's the main one I wanted from the set, so I'm okay with having gotten the whole set, but trade away the rest to get the things I want, which are the Dinobots.
Why is the Metroplex hot?
It's just neat. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
They really took some weird swings with this wave, and it seems to be doing good. I have 2 more points I decided I want to make about Blokees. It sounds like we're kind of wrapping up.
Yeah, probably pretty sooner.
Okay.
Make your points.
First off, they are, bringing up all the I was going to say rapidity. I don't think that's a word. But with the speed that Blokees is coming out with new products, I hate to say it, but they need to start expiring product. Like they need to quit making wave 1 and then quit making wave 2. And like that, they need to do some leapfrogging there, because if they don't do that, what someone described is going to happen. People are going to get so many so quick, and they're just going to unload the whole collection as a lot. And it's going to happen like 2,000 times. But if they make some of those old ones, why can't I think of the name? It's no longer being produced.
Retired?
Yeah, if they start retiring, if they discontinue some stuff or retire them, that's.
Well, that's what Iron Factory is kind of like that too, like third-party Transformers, right? Like it's really hard to get the older stuff.
That's the thing. Old Blokees aren't even old yet, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. They're not. I'm not saying make them the boob,
but then too, you have this idea. It's like, okay, you missed the first Optimus Prime. Oh, that stinks. All right, here's already a better one. So
good.
They're already topping themselves, which is something we've kind of talked about in the past with, Black Series and Marvel Legends. Like those don't hold their value as well because it's like, oh, cool. Here's your, 2008 Spider-Man Marvel Legends. The one that just came out is a lot better. Yeah, that one you can't find it in the stores anymore, but this one that just came out is better. So it devalues it. So I think you might have that with Blokees, at least with the ones where you're getting characters repeated.
Well, that's kind of a line in the sand that they drew by doing this Optimus. But it's like MP1 versus MP10, kind of.
Yeah.
That's sort of, it's like, yeah. Look what we can do now. It's incredible. So it sounds like we're really loving Blokees, except for Lucas, who's sad tonight. But
sorry,
I did want to present a challenger. Because maybe there is a new company that can make something more transformery. You guys seen these? I know you got some, Anna.
The Aldi?
Yeah, the Aldi dudes. What do you think?
At first, when I first handled it, and I think just because I kind of received these from you, these were expensive to get that first wave, right? Like they were not easy to get. So for the price I paid for it, when I first opened the 2 I have him in the Cliff Jumper, I was disappointed just because I think because of how small they are, was the only reason I was actually disappointed. But then when I actually went back and, having a lot of action figures and a lot of small figures over the years and a lot of Dr. Wu and stuff laying around, realizing just how many joints and how much posability and how much detail is packed into this tiny little bug man, it was like, oh crap, this is actually really good, right? Like you don't expect to get wrist rotation on a figure that is, as tall as my thumb, right? Like this is not a big figure. This is tiny. He's got wrist rotation. He's got ankles. Look at that Starscream with his double knees. Like, that's crazy. That's, again, not a big figure. It scales with him. Right?
So you're into him?
I'm into him.
These got to get easier.
Okay. So comparing to, I would prefer to have these. Like, I would trade all of my Galaxy right now for some All Day stuff, right? Because I would definitely prefer to have these over Galaxy because, like I said, Galaxy doesn't do much for me on the build. I'm loving the Action Edition. I'm loving the Classic Class. That stuff hits my model kit fade. Those are different. But if I'm just getting action figures, this All Day stuff is so good, right? Like, they are really good little action figures. Nice small size, nice level of detail, and lots of personality to them. So yeah, I'm in on them if they were just easier to get a hold of.
But do they have this level of personality?
Horrible muted mushroom face. Those eyes look creepy.
I mean,
in 3 dimensions.
It's fun. And the fact that they made it just a part that you don't have to replace the head or swap off a part. You just pop on the eyes or pop them off, and now you got the regular sludge head. But yeah, I mean, again, they're doing deep cut accessories with some of these Blokees.
It's very fun.
So yeah, when you mentioned like you're getting the Dino bots earlier, I'm like, oh wait, yeah, sludge in this wave, Dino form sludge with the eyes popping, and the fact that he came out right after you're able to make your Devastator. That they're thinking about stuff. They're playing 5-dimensional chess over there.
The timing was pretty impeccable.
It was good.
Yeah, Talib in the chat also says about that he feels like that collecting Blokees, it's about accessibility, and that if you limit waves or stop producing them, you're going to limit your accessibility to new customers. And I can see some of that too, that, everyone's going to have their jumping on point a little bit. And I think that companies, don't want to repeat the He-Man phenomenon where, the later waves, they didn't make He-Man and Skeletor and kind of lost out people because they're just making the deep cuts.
They can still make Optimus Prime and Megatron. They've already made him twice. All they got to do is not make the Ultra anymore. That's all I'm saying.
I like how they marketed I'm going to call it a restock of Wave 1 earlier this year. They're like, hey, Wave 1's back. You can order it. I don't think it ever really went away. But I think if they did more timed releases, like it's a reissue, you can order it now when it's not available all the time. But like you could get it every once in a while.
It's like the McRib.
Yeah, like the McRib.
They're already doing what I'm saying to an extent in Asia. There's a club you have to be part of. That was the only way to get the Devastator before. And that's how you get the silver tracker. That's how you get whatever the arc and the clear
storage box stuff.
The clear Unicron head. Like that stuff is Asia only, and it is very hard to get a hold of. And then there's
Paul, would you join a club if they put it in the US? I know I would.
I'd run it.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Just put me in charge. I'll make it happen. No, I think it'd be a great idea. That would be super awesome. Talk about a throwback, man.
There you go. You can have the Transformers Club.
Like have a
Yeah,
do it.
I do think what Paul said is interesting is I do think that's one thing that might kind of bite everyone in the face with Blokees is that part of Transformers, as compared to a lot of other toy lines, like look at Star Wars, has always been this scarcity / gaining value with age, right? You just expect that when your Transformer is 10 years old, it's going to be more scarce and more valuable, and it's going to be, we've always made the cautionary tale, don't treat Transformers as an investment. You're not buying stocks. These are toys. But the thing is, Transformers has reliably held value or gained value as a toy line over the years. I don't think Blokees are going to do that. right? I think eventually your old Blockies aren't going to be worth anything, especially since they're assembled, right?
Yeah.
Assembled model kits tend to kind of make people kind of thumb their nose, like, you've already done it. I don't need that anymore. So I think Blockies are going to be problematic in that sense for people when it just kind of hits them when it's like, okay, I've decided I don't need my Blockies anymore. It's 2030. I've decided to sell my, first 8 waves of Galaxy. I'm going to go make myself hundreds of dollars. And someone's like, I'll give you $30 for all that. And you're going to be like, oh no, it's like when I had to sell all my Creo.
Yeah. Well, I feel like what's more important is that people still want the stuff, even though you don't. Like a new group of people wants it for maybe a different reason than you did. And that is
we'll
how.
See.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But it
I
is.
feel like this is a bubble.
It's low cost.
Eventually.
It's low cost.
Oh,
in
yeah.
The beginning. So that that tends to make mass produce compared to other toys. So I think you're all probably right about that.
Mass produced. Transformers mask. Oh, okay.
We had 2. That was enough. Don't do it again.
All right. Well, appreciate guys all the great information on Blockies tonight. So hopefully, if there are some people that are listening or watching the show, that they too have gotten some good information and for their Blockies collecting. I think especially some of the words you guys had on limiting yourself, I think is probably a pretty good advice. Always good advice with Transformers because they make a lot.
Hey, Lucas, do you think we're going to get another episode in between now and TFCon?
Maybe. I go on vacation next Wednesday, so what?
It's like the 3rd vacation you've taken this month.
I just said that. I was like, Lucas, it sounds like your answer is no, but you're finding a long way to say
maybe
the word no.
We'll see. So
I guess I'll just say if there's a
or show that because New York Comic-Con's this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know, you guys available on Tuesday?
Yeah,
probably.
We should definitely do this during our stream. We should definitely try to schedule the next one live.
Yes.
While we're still streaming.
I'm just saying, like, in the possibility that we don't have another episode between now and TFCon, I think all of us are going to be at TFCon Chicago, right?
Right.
So if you want to come say hello, if you want to buy stuff from us, multiple of us are beginning selling at booths. Come say hello. Yeah, $5 an autograph for Anna. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, come say hello.
So, yep.
Okay, bye.
Should be a good time. So. All right. Well, thanks everyone.
Said, okay, bye. Bye.
And hopefully we'll have a show next week. We'll see. But otherwise, we'll have fun at TFCon. So, all right. There you go. Can chat help schedule the next show? All right.
Sure.
Bye.